Yeah, boy. I got a lot of shit to do today, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. So yesterday, it is May 19th, 2023. So yesterday on May 18th, my second or third Uber passenger, we were having a conversation, just a little bit of small talk, nothing serious. And as I'm about to drop her off to her location, she asked, "Hey, do you go to church on Sundays? Do you follow God? What are you?" Right? And to keep it simple, I simply replied. Well, to the first questions, I replied with no. I don't go to church. I don't do any of that stuff, right? And after she asked, like, what are you? And I said, to keep it simple, I said I'm agnostic. And of course, the common theme with all of these people is that they only know what they've been told because they don't actually do any individual research on their own because they're taught that, don't question God, don't challenge God, do what God tells you, and there's no other option, right? So of course she didn't know what agnostic meant. They never do, right? So to keep it simple, I basically said that I think the universe itself is the ultimate source of power, that nature itself is the ultimate source of power. And I left it at that. And common sense would say that if there was some God fellow that came around and started creating shit, obviously he would have came in the universal plane. So even if any of that crock of shit was true, he would still be a subordinate under the universe itself. He would still be a subordinate under nature because God appeared in nature, God appeared in the universe, and then started creating within the universe. But I didn't go into any of that. I kept it simple and said I'm agnostic. And something that I always find hilarious when you're talking to people is that the first thing they do when you tell them something they've never heard before is they assume that you think the way you do because you don't know, right? She proceeded to say, well, I think you should read the Bible because it will change your life, right? Not knowing that I've probably read the Bible more than she has. Not knowing that it's because I actually went straight to the source of religion itself, those holy books. It's because of those books that I said, fuck God. Because the things that God does in the Bible, bro, if anybody actually reads that shit, they wouldn't be religious. But this won't be a long video, but I humored her though because she did give me a tip, and besides being religious, she seemed like a cool person. So I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it. I'll look into it later on, because she told me to go to YouTube to read the Bible. I'm like, YouTube? Because nobody on YouTube's reading the Bible. But I went to YouTube all right. I went straight to my own channel. So I humored her. I told her have a nice day. And it's not even just with religious people, man. In my own comments, right? There's a troll who comments on all my videos, man. He recently made a post where he basically acknowledged that he has seen what I'm talking about himself, but wants me to be wrong because he still sees me as the final boss or whatever. And, people for whatever reason think that because you think the way you do is because you don't know something, or it's because you haven't read something, or it's because you just don't know what you're talking about. They never stop to realize that maybe some of us think the way we do because we know more than you. See, it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. When you're right here and you encounter something that's up here, it's so beyond your level of comprehension that you can't comprehend it, Watch a video on the Dunning-Kruger effect. It applies to most people. But anyways, man, I just wanted to make this quick little video because I found that hilarious that people, see, if you guys watched some of the debates I've done, what do? I let people speak as much as possible before I completely destroy their point. Why? because I want to be taught something new when I interact with people. So I'm silent. I let them talk. I let them speak because I'm secretly hoping that they're about to enlighten me with some type of fact or some type of knowledge that I've not stumbled across before. And I'm always disappointed because they usually do the opposite and proceed to show verbally with their own words that they have no idea what they're talking about. Nonetheless, you shouldn't assume that somebody who's speaking in a way you've never heard before, you shouldn't assume they're speaking that way because they don't know anything. You should be open-minded and think, maybe this guy knows something that I don't. But when it comes to regular people, I don't let them know nothing. You know, I let her believe that I've never read the Bible. I let her believe that I have no knowledge of theology. You didn't even know what the word agnostic meant, yet you think that I don't know anything about theology. I let her rock, though. I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it. I'll humor you, right? And, you know, I literally said that I'll humor it, you know. What's the moral of this video, guys? The world is a wonderful place. When you meet somebody new, you know, let them speak, let them give you some details, and then decide when you have all the details if they know what they're talking about or not. Don't just assume because somebody calls themselves a word you've never heard before, it has to be because they don't know what you know, when in reality they could know more than what you know. Catch y'all in the next video.